All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. It's game one of our round 3.
Ooh, and we see a free, but we do not see what KEITARO had as a result. So let's see who is going to open with. And I think it was WANNAKO at least pointing at himself. So
yeah, I definitely see what you mean about the Vanquish K9 deck, because it's not a lot of decks where they have different engines, like we saw Ryze or Mitsurugi. You know, you can get from one to the other. You can make Duo Drive or King of the Pharaoh Limps or something, but you can't really do this in the Vanquish Soul deck. There's no way for the K9s to start picking up Horizon, for example, but for now we're just going to be seeing some Malice action.
But even again, going second, I mean, Olisu is just a phenomenal card, arguably the best around, if it resolves with the right attributes, and that's always an important question. But for now, it doesn't seem like there is much of an interaction.
Dormouse might be limited to 1, but Malice and Underground is semi-limited here at this event, so opening that is like opening up a Dormouse. Not as good, but still going to get the job done. Going to banish the White Rabbit, so White Rabbit can summon herself to the field, and now going to look to set a Malice Trap card face down.
Yeah. Ooh,
it's TB11.
Wow, okay.
This is a card we haven't seen play in a lot of Malice strategies in the TCG, but we see from the Asia region, TB11 is a card still included in their Malice decks.
Yeah, it makes some amount of sense if you're dropping a copy of Dormouse from the deck. Maybe you think, oh, I need 1 extra Malice card to replace it, and in this case we've gone for an extra trap.
Yeah, it makes the just normal summon White Rabbit a lot stronger, since you're able to access the Dormouse with White Rabbit as well. And we see the Splash Mage going to bring back the Dormouse, then Link summon here for Malice Red Ransom. Used to only be able to add Malice and Underground, but now Malice in the Mirror is going to be a great target here.
Where do we think Malice will go from here? Look, fanning out the graveyard there, maybe for a March Hare. But here we're going to see TB11. I'm wondering how much this actually adds to the Malice combo lines. I feel like everyone's kind of forgotten about this card. Once the chance to cut it was there, people were like, okay, I'm going to cut it and I'm not really going to look back. But when you add it back in, maybe it just adds all of these extra lines you can now do.
So Red Ransom is going to summon itself back and banish a Cyberse monster from the deck, and going to banish the Chessie Cat, and Chessie Cat will join the field with the other Chessie Cat.
Yeah, maybe a blast from the past. We see a Dot Scraper.
Ooh, but that goes the good old rock Nibiru, the primal being activated by KEITARO. Do we have a response? No, we do not. So everything is clear, and we get a token.
Yep, Nibiru the Primal being coming down here for KEITARO.
Yeah, Nibiru is such a strong card, and Malice is a deck, they can't put up anything to negate Nibiru all that easily, because once you go into something like Allied Code Talker, for example, that's the end of your summons for the turn. So you just kind of have to say at any point, could get Nibiru'd, and then I will just do my best to carry on. And March Hare does such a fantastic job of that.
Yep, and the best part here is being able to use the Nibiru before the Malice player has access to Whitebinder. So just keeping them off Whitebinder could be key, because Whitebinder really gets all your trap access going and being able to do so much on the opponent's turn as well.
And yeah, play may resume once these life points are checked. And okay, we're gonna just give right away the token back into this Link Spider.
I'm wondering if the play was stopped so we could get out the calculator and figure out how big the the token was.
Fair enough, just to give it back.
So Link Spider usually used to make Splash Mage over there afterwards, but Splash Mage has already been used, but a great way to get backup Secretary onto the field.
Oh, and there goes, yet another maybe not super common option in the deck, but yeah, look at this. I mean, through Nibiru we have just unmasked a full-on field once more. And the question is, do we have another interruption from the Vanquish Soul deck?
And we talk about how important it is for Vanquish Soul to draw Holly Sue, and the games that it doesn't, it's night and day different from the games that it does. But the Chessie Cat's going to banish a March Hare to draw 2 cards, and then WANNAKO will be able to add the March Hare right back to the hand.
Yeah, it's so tough here because you're holding on to that Nibiru and you're like, when do I do it? When do I do it? When do I do it? And you don't want to hold too long because then it feels like it's not enough. But he's played it now and it just feels like it's not achieved anything either.
All right, going to go into the G Golem Crystal Heart, and that's going to bring back the Link Spider. This is not something we see typical in a lot of Malice decks. But now they're going to link those away. Maybe he's still playing something like Terahertz or something usually, but White Binder is the key card you're going to want to access as a Malice duelist, and that is what WANNAKO is going to summon next. Use the effect on summon to banish some cards from the graveyard. Going to banish that Malice in the Mirror that he discarded off the effect of Backup Secretary, the Aniteckzetto version, of course. And then he'll be able to banish a trap, so that means he can add a Malice trap from his deck to his hand. That's cool.
Yeah, very good interaction here, not most straightforward one. But now, yeah, we just access yet another trap card in the GWC, and we are gonna activate it right away. Okay.
Yep, so he's gonna banish the White Binder, summon back Red Ransom, gain 2,300 life points, and then special pay 900 of those life points to special summon back White Binder and get a fresh draw.
Yeah, quick shuffle there just to make sure the deck is randomized before we draw once again. These Malice turns, they're just so powerful. You just, at some point, you just look back at the hand and you say, why have you got 6 cards in hand again?
Yeah.
Like, draw 1 from here, 1 from there, add 1 with the Malice in the Mirror. I like seeing that Malice in the Mirror. As we said, like, what it adds, just adding that 1 extra trap can sometimes make the deck so much more, like, comfortable to play with. You just have all this extra resource in your deck. At the expense of maybe adding in an extra card that you don't necessarily want to draw, but having it in the deck can just make it so much cleaner sometimes.
And yeah, we just reset our trap card. Now we go into Firewall, and we are almost done with our turn, but of course now again this Ignister is gonna be the last piece of the combo. Having a negation, that's quite the start. Look at this.
Yeah, and I like how we really got to see why he's still including TB11, because it is useful with this combo. It seems it was intended to have, like, add the Malice in the Mirror, to discard with the backup Secretary Aniteckzetto, to have to be able to banish it. This all makes sense. There's always a reason for everything. It's not just like, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and include this card in my deck. No. WANNAKO knew what he was doing, and it's for a specific reason. It's fantastic to see. And this is, yeah, all through in Nibiru to still have an incredible end field.
Yeah, and having drawn cards, not only is it the field, it's also the hand. I can see at least an Ash Blossom, but maybe some more cards. So KEITARO are going to have a tough time getting through everything.
I think we both saw what that draw was. Yeah.
Yep, Holly off the top, not in the opening 5, but waiting there on the top of the deck. But that does mean that KEITARO is going to have some plays here that might be meaningful.
Yeah, I mean, I do see a Razen as well, which might be just normal summon in the same column of, you know, Firewall as well. But I mean, this opening is quite something from WANNAKO.
Yeah, you could imagine in a dream that the Razen is going to destroy both the Firewall and the Code Talker, but it seems very unlikely that's going to get to resolve, given all of the potential interruptions.
All right, going to reveal a couple of attributes here for Vanquish Soul Razen, to probably try and destroy the monsters in the column, and yep, that is the case here. This is going to force WANNAKO to, I guess, have to use the Allied Code Talker effect.
You can always remove the Razen, and then it won't be in a column.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Good Firewall. But it looks like, yeah, he is going to go with Allied Code Talker to just go ahead and negate and destroy it.
Was that a summon Razen or not? I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that in my life, to be honest. So
I decided not to go for the search effect, which is quite interesting, yeah. Wow.
Next is Hollysu Win Jiaolong. Gonna try and summon both these monsters from the hand.
Nah, one issue with the Vanquish Soul deck is if you have to like push through some interruptions and you lose cards in your hand, then all of a sudden the remaining ones don't work. Whereas a lot of other decks, if you just like sneak through one card right at the end and then you can just like, you know, one Dormouse at the end and you push through interruptions is enough to end the game. But there's not really any Vanquish Soul cards that will do that all by themselves. You still need other cards to reveal to get the value out of them.
Yep, and we see why WANNAKO decided to use the Allied Code Talker first here to put the White Binder in the graveyard, so the White Binder could be summoned back with the GWC06, and now on summon, the White Binder is going to be able to banish up to 3 cards from either player's graveyard. The key one is going to be that White White Rabbit to be able to access another Malice trap card from the deck if he doesn't already have access to MTP07.
Yeah, you'd almost really want the MTP07 to already be face down if you're KEITARO, because it means that it's, you know, the face down card isn't something else. But in this case, it probably is going to be something else, because it looks very deliberate here, this summoning of the White Rabbit and searching a trap.
So he's going to still have the MTP07. Firewall Dragon hasn't used the effect just yet. And I believe his monsters can't be destroyed by card effects either, since the red ransom is pointing to the Dormouse.
I think we revealed, what was it, a burger next to the Jayalong?
I don't know, it's quite bright.
I thought so. So, Dark and Fire, I'm assuming, but we get this
Hit with
Ash
Ash
Blossom as well. Wow.
Not letting him special summon a monster from the deck.
And so, yeah, we're just gonna use the Jayalong effect to special summon itself.
Yeah, it's difficult to imagine what cards KEITARO could pull out of the extra deck here.
Yeah, rough start, obviously. The goal would be to try and go for a Zoo somehow, but that Firewall is still active.
Yeah, a Firewall and an MTP can be activated now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like he's going to activate the MTP before the Ripper can do any good here for KEITARO. Going to banish the red ransom.
But we see a main decked copy of the quick spell coming down from KEITARO. It's the forced release.
Yeah, slightly sneaky interaction here because the red ransom was banished. The force release might be able to also destroy the white binder, and then when the MTP resolves, there wouldn't be a Malice link on the field. But WANNAKO is going to be heads up to that, and it looks like it's prompting the Firewall being used just now.
Yeah, I think so.
He's going to return his own Splash Mage back to the extra deck with heads up. Adds a March Hare from the deck to the hand with the MTP07 resolving and banishing Nibiru. Now KEITARO just sitting on one card in hand versus WANNAKO's formidable board.
Yeah, just look at this Malice once more, proving why it is a deck that, you know, many might have thought was not going to be this popular, but 5 duelists out of 27 decided to bring it, and up until now they are being quite successful. So
yeah, it just keeps going. Red ransom gets so much advantage now. 2 cards added to hand. Only, I think, the dark monster that was revealed, which I think was Heavy Borga, as you mentioned earlier. So difficult to do so much with just a lone Heavy Borga.
yeah, and it is indeed a pass, which means this duel is gonna go to WANNAKO's way.
Yeah, this is looking like it's about to end pretty quickly. Just puts the monsters into attack mode, enter the battle phase, and attack. And we're going into a game number 2 here fairly quickly with a dominating showcase of the Malice strategy, showing it can still contend with these strong, powerful new decks that really got pumped up by the Justice Hunters release.
Here they are. I mean, it's gonna be a close one, of course. Again, as mentioned, are we gonna see any Artifact Lancia in the side deck from KEITARO? But first and foremost, are we gonna see that Razen? The end is picked up.
Yeah, I was just having a little peek there. I didn't see it, but maybe my eyes were not good enough. But he's putting the hand a little closer to the table.
Ooh, it's gonna be a case for K9 that we start things off with.
Such a fantastic card to start with if you can get a Jokel instantly and put a Ripper in play and just prevent any interruptions coming from your opponent. So maybe WANNAKO gonna say no to that.
Ooh, but that's, yeah. I mean, I guess with an Ash Blossom, it's always gonna be a matter of, do I try and risk it? But if I don't, most likely then they're gonna get to the Izuna, so whenever I use this Ash Blossom later on, it's gonna be a bit of a downside for me as well.
I mean, it really speaks to like the dynamic that K9 brings into the matchups. Like a card that normally would auto use on something that adds, you have to have a lot more consideration, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it does seem like a big risk, doesn't it? Because once you let this Jokel come into play here, now when are you going to use the Ash Blossom? Because there's going to be a Ripper on the field, almost certainly.
Yeah, I think maybe it might have been worth just using, I guess. But yeah, because now we get so much advantage. And the only question is, as you were saying before, there is no real way of going from the K9s to the Vanquish Souls. So let's see if we can access that engine, because, I mean, otherwise it's going to be pure K9. I have... Okay, thank you. No. I was about to say...
One is Izuna.
I mean, one, yeah.
It's surely Izuna and Forced Release, right?
I think so.
It would be nice to...
Just come on, hold your hand over it just for one more second. Oh,
that's Izuna. And I mean, you can't have said anything but Forced Release, surely. So
yeah, those are the two cards that are looking like is being added to the hand here.
I mean, you can always get a second case, no? If you then go into the Reaper and set the Forced Release.
There is a case for a second case.
Yeah.
It doesn't Ripper. It requires your opponent to have used a monster effect though before you get the set. You get the set as a little bonus.
That's why you got to get them to use that Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring as fast as possible.
You just got to activate a card and then look at your opponent and then they say no response and then you say, "Are you sure?" Like,
are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to stop this?
It would be really helpful.
I'd appreciate it if you stopped it.
No, I think it's kind of confirmed that we do not have access, because I think we are normal summoning Izuna. Yep.
So this is just going to be a K9 turn here from KEITARO.
I see a Jiaolong, but... Okay, for
Jiaolong pretty much needs other Vanquish Soul monsters to get onto the field there.
I mean, we could normal summon it, I guess, but yeah.
And go into Rock and add it back?
I guess. I mean, if we have two fires outside of it, maybe, but I mean, no.
Ripper is going to be coming down next.
Yeah, sort of interesting choice there to keep the Jiaolong rather than summon it off the Jokel.
Yeah.
And then you'd have the Lantern's effect.
Exactly.
Maybe he wanted to do something else with it.
Okay. I do see another fire, but I don't know if there is a second one. Probably not. No, there is none. So only one fire in hand. So
it's a pretty cool fire too.
Yeah, definitely a cool one. Yes, we are just gonna normal summon Izuna now and send Lopez possibly for next turn.
We can be a little short. Yeah, I feel like if you just summon the Joker, you'd be able to have an extra rank 5 right now, but
yeah,
there's something to be said for keeping extra fires in your hand. It is an important attribute, and maybe you just want extra Vanquish Soul monsters, because maybe he's hoping to draw a couple of cards off this Rescue Ace Impulse that you two are just talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, even having the Izuna with the Lupus in the graveyard still kind of threatens another rank 5 during the opponent's turn.
Sure.
Which could be useful.
But I do agree that against Malice specifically, I would like to, end on an additional disruption, possibly just the Valon, and not having it right away to stop a normal summon, could be, not ideal, but it's a pass, so
not the strongest field.
No, definitely not. No Vanquish Soul cards at all, and I think we are happy, if we are WANNAKO, so...
Is that an old school Raigeki? Here we go.
Wow.
Raigeki coming down. Simple but strong.
And that's brutal, yeah. Wow.
What is the Forced Release gonna do? Oh my goodness, is that a K9 Hound? That is definitely not something I'm used to seeing in TCG decks for sure. It obviously has some way of not being destroyed.
Yeah, it cannot be destroyed by card effects, yeah.
But I think
that turn or battle.
That's basically all it's going to do here, but at least he continues to have a monster on the field.
Yeah, but that's definitely not something we expected. I mean, as an extra deck slot, but I think, it kind of confirms that, I would say Extravagance is not in the deck. I would be shocked if that was the case, but let's see on the other end. Okay.
A tough start, but, working with what he has, normal summon March Hare, linked away into Almirage, so he could special summon the Wizard and bring back that March Hare. This is at least 3 monsters, including a Malice name, which is all you really need to access something like Red Ransom or White Binder from the extra deck.
Yeah, I think in Malice, if you can get to that link 3, then you say, I will take it. However ugly it has to be. Let's see which one he chooses to go for.
Salamangreat Almirage continues to be great in every deck but Salamangreat.
Ooh, and we go into Splash Mage, which we could be punished for potentially, but not for now. KEITARO doesn't want to respond at all. And that means we can finally get into our link-free Malice monsters potentially.
Yeah, maybe you do it now on the red ransom,
Yep.
so you will get to trigger that fire attacker immediately once it is summoned.
Yeah, and there goes the spicy, fire monster we were talking about, Rescue Ace Impulse.
Oh, but is that an Ash? This patience on the Ash is going to pay absolute
off.
dividends.
It will allow, if he does have another copy of Izuna or something in the hand, to happen. You know he has the Lupus in the graveyard as well, but I don't know if he added another copy of Izuna.
Yeah, normal something that Izuna makes you kind of wonder. I mean, I suppose you're not thinking necessarily about Raigeki, but Book of Eclipse definitely something on the mind of Vanquish Soul players, surely.
Yeah.
So maybe holding it in the hand is preferable, because you can't use it unless your opponent lets you summon the Lupus anyway.
Very true.
So it's like, it's nice to get it on the field maybe, but in this case, going to be punished for doing so.
Is this just going to be an access code talker? It is.
Yeah.
The Hound still will be able to survive.
I think Malice have got plenty of ways to destroy things, or get rid of things without destroying them.
For sure.
Uh,
Oh, he's keeping track of how much attack the Hound is gaining. He gains 500, I think, every time your opponent activates a monster effect. Something like that.
or maybe it's a monster in the hand or grave.
That would make a lot of sense, right?
It seems very canine, but yeah, I don't think the attack's going to be too important.
So he's going to target the Hound to try and destroy it by banishing the Red Ransom, but of course Hound will protect itself, and Red Ransom is going to summon itself back at the cost of 900 life points and banish the Cybers from the deck, and of course it's going to be Malice Dormouse. 300 more life points will be paid, Dormouse touches down, and the Hound grows stronger, but so does Wanako's field.
Yeah.
This Hound is just gaining attack after attack points after attack points.
Yeah, but here we are. Maybe we're going to search now for the MTP, for example, that could remove it, and that would almost be game on the field by itself. Maybe now even you just say, okay, I'm going to go to the battle phase now, because anything you use, you might have to use straight away.
That does make a lot of sense, but looks like Wanako is choosing just to go ahead and use it right away.
And yeah, this MTP really paying dividends, as mentioned. Gonna finally get rid of that ever-growing, Hound.
It was a hungry Hound. He ate a lot, but now he's going to have to eat his lunch in the banishment.
And I mean, we do have the Lupus, but that is not enough. And KEITARO extend the handshakes. And yeah, I mean, what a show from WANNAKO. Once more, the Malice deck dominating on stream.
Yeah, and like kind of a different way from that we've seen it played in the TCG. TB11 is a card that a lot of players have cut from the deck for quite some time, but Wanako really showing you why you can use it and how it